Hello, welcome to another video. Um, so what are we doing this time? So I thought I'd start a new project because there was a project I was working on quite some time ago, which is the OS Dev project, and we do something like that, and um, this was, we can't even run it because we don't have playing format. Can I install it? I wonder. I just did a kind of like dodge upgrade from the last version of Ubuntu to the new version. I don't know. The upgrader broke, and then I'm like, I used Debian back in the day. I know how to fix it. Um, it upgraded, but yeah, some packages seem to have like gone walkabouts, which that's alright. I had a look through, saw some that I was like, might need that at some point. Turns out I need Clang format to run my own operating system, which I wrote entirely in assembly. Uh, I probably shouldn't depend on all of the linting scripts that it does. But yeah, this is my operating system, and we can do some stuff. And I don't know, it was kind of cool. But the problem is, but exit doesn't work, but that's fine. Um, so, like, if we have a look at what we've got, pretty much I have quite a lot of assembly code that is there. The Rust was kind of in tests, so we potentially even only check in source. Is that what we can do? Yeah, so here we can see that we've got like 10,000 lines of code, various forms. I haven't worked on it in quite a while, so potentially I have been thinking, and I have been thinking all the time really, is kind of all I need assembly for is this file here, really, which it does some fancy assembly tricks, and it is in 16-bit mode, and it is at a very precise address. And that's only for MBR, and like after it does that, it appears in this one here, and it's got 32-bit mode. We can just kind of treat it as if it is correct, I guess. There might be some features that we like need assembly for, but perhaps we could have a way to include assembly in however we're doing it. So there's quite a number of options on what I could do to make my life a bit easier. The gist I'm getting at is I am thinking of no longer doing it entirely in assembly and actually doing it in a different language and kind of only bootstrapping off this one assembly file, the 16-bit real mode. And then the rest I guess will have to be rewritten to kind of fit in as and when is needed. And I find that sometimes doing this development style of kind of developing a bunch of stuff and then leaving it for leaving it for quite a while, and then coming back to it and then rewriting it can actually sometimes get better results. Like more pragmatic long term results, I guess. And I guess my thinking of that is that when you are just in the midst of doing a project that you're quite passionate on, that you'll kind of push for over stumbling blocks in ways that might not be great long term. But it might be good for the immediate win, so you can see progress being made. And as you kind of go on, you learn from these mishaps, and you can kind of go back and patch up stuff. But sometimes, if you have the opportunity, just do a full rewrite. It can be better. Uh, so, yeah, I might think of doing that, but not just today. Today, I am thinking of starting a new project called Devlang. So Devlang is, I don't know, I'm going to write a programming language that can look at um, a programming language that I don't know I've made up, and here's some kind of syntaxes that I've thought that might be kind of handy. I probably shouldn't all just chuck it in one thing. And you might notice that some things look very similar to other languages. Um, but yeah, that's kind of that. So, uh, one thing that I kind of thought of is like, I can kind of use this as a, I don't know, playground for doing interesting things. Like, this way of handling errors is kind of interesting. So like you can read in a bunch of stuff and it will what's the word, like you get multiple arguments returned to you and you decouple. I don't know, it doesn't matter. It does that thing. But if that call failed for some reason, then these parameters are not in a defined state. So what we can do is actually set them inside this error block, I guess. Otherwise, there's like no kind of clean way of kind of getting past this error while also defining them. Otherwise, you would have to do something like a string. Then also B is like whatever type it might be, which we can see here that it will be an integer. Now, I guess like this format string is kind of interesting because it's kind of like I guess like we could even do that as an example. It's kind of like a printf style, but it's also a bit not. Like it kind of gives the type of what it is meant to be, and yeah, we can see here that we can also get type inference. So like there is an I here, but if we go back to the B, we don't actually specify what type it is. We just say we're initializing it with the colon, and potentially that colon could become optional in this sort of a call. Um, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of the stuff doesn't really matter to start with. What kind of matters to start with is, I think, kind of getting something going. So maybe, I mean, I want to be good about this project. So I might, or not make those, make the examples. Um, I might make some examples, and like maybe a small basic one would just be like returning an error, I guess. Like, so it would exit from main, which, yeah, that could give us a kind of leading point to get into. So, uh, I don't know how to call this. Exit. Main one dot, and we can call it div. because it's Devlang. So I guess like here we would have something like this, but maybe a way to know what it is. Um, and like I wonder if like some of these things can also be optional. Like we don't need the curly braces, but we also might. Um, I think I'll leave them in because it kind of does leave easy way for them to do its marks just out of the box, you know. But what is this going to do? It's probably going to just return one. Uh, well, to start with, we could potentially just have uh, that, and we can just call it main.dev. And this can be our example to start with. And what should this do? It should just run, then exit nothing. So I wonder if we could even have like uh, something like this. Uh, and just in the air. I wonder how to like define things like this. Exit and it would be zero, something like that. I don't know. So that's what I expect from that. Now, what program am I going to use to run this? Uh, like this is our program. How do we run it? How do we run it indeed? So, this is where we have to, I don't know, pick a language, work out what we're going to do, basically write our compiler. We could, maybe I'll move the example.dev to like to-do.dev, but also put that example just to get that out of the way. And maybe I'll make this source just so things are kind of, I don't know, put in a good place. And so we can probably do something like any sort of language. We can do like JavaScript, we can do Python. I kind of want to do some C sharp, mainly because it's been a long time since I've done any, which maybe that's the reason not to do it. A small spillage. Unfortunate. Very minor. That's kind of like evaporating. I'll mop it up later. I should probably have some things out here. Um, so where was I? What language are we doing? C sharp. So, how are some things that we could do to do some C sharp? So, you kind of you're meant to do like something like this. How do you run? Yeah, so you can do like a console app like this. You could also do WebAssembly. Interesting. Um, and what can we do with this? Um, gosh, it had a few things. So the problem is that Oh, we can do something like that. Use program main. Wow, I don't know. So like you can uh, do stuff like this with um, .NET. Well, how do we do it? Uh, do we just do something like that? Yeah, so it kind of creates like a bunch of stuff. So what does it create? The Devlang CS project and the program.cs. So I guess the program.cs doesn't need to be called program. I don't know, just having a little explore. Like, why does it need to be called program? I assume that this will kind of do stuff. It's also got that object file. That took a long time, I have to say. Yeah, so like kind of introduced a bunch of stuff here. Um, what would be ideal would I wonder if that is quicker now. Yeah, so that's quite slow. But what I have thought of doing is we can do something like this, and so in fact we can probably just even read in program.cs, which is the same thing. Well, in fact, yeah, we can try two different things. If we time .NET run, all right, cool, that's all right. We can, well, in fact, can we just get rid of uh, program.cs and will that just kind of do the trick for us? It's one less thing in my thing. So 4 seconds to kind of do that. But we can also probably try something like this. And if we just run this, um, is that about the same length of time? And it's the same programming style. Oh yeah, it's slightly slower, but is that like on average or all the time? So maybe it is hard to tell. I think it is just slow no matter what. But you know what? I'm gonna do it. So some of the things I don't really like this Devlang thing, and also this OBJ, and it's also created the bin for me. So I could probably get rid of all of that. And if we look at examples, and source. So now we just have this file. And if we clone this, still works fine. And if we do the run, it doesn't work because .NET run like requires a project file, even though you're just one source file. And what's interesting is the script you actually have to install .NET dash script. Otherwise, it won't work. Anyway, enough dithering. So, well, actually, one thing that I did wonder is, uh, oh, I've forgotten how to do it. We could look at uh, dot environment. Oh, I can't remember what the docs are like. Yeah, just give me the nah, not that. Um, and then not that. Um, yeah, this one, environment class. What do we have on us? Get environment variables. That is what we want. So we want something like environment dot get environment variables and semicolon. Um, so you have so this returns us like a thing. How do we work out what it returns? It returns us a dictionary. So can we uh, go to this? And this will probably tell us like all the things that we can get, like slides. So say collection count. So count is what we want. You have plus m dot count plus now why I am wondering this is so I guess we new, so we do need to kind of say that we have this um um did that create program, yeah, get rid of that and run this. So we have 73 args there. Gosh. And this we want to have source and depth. 72 args. It seems not right. Source in this is because we need to do that. And we can probably do something like yeah, something like that. And so this should give us a thing. Nah, all right. So if we have a dictionary, we have lots of args. Um, so this had like a kind of looping through. How did that do? For each tree B in M. So what does this have? So dot right line, and this will be I don't know. Maybe we'll do something like this. So we can also do stuff like this, and that is kind of handy. So and what does this do? We don't have right length but we do have. Can we just have like whatever in? I mean, it doesn't because we need to do that. Um, right. Has this done it? Right. So I don't want environment variables. What do I want? I want the command line args. Right. And that just gives me a string. Yeah, I was wondering why it had args and command line args. So this will be args and see if that has that. Uh, and we could probably just say this is a string arg and do something like this. And something like that. What does that give me? Right, n doesn't exist. Well, the round trip time is quite bad. So we have four arguments when we do it like that. So it calls some random stuff and then the name of the script and then the two that we do. So if we try doing something like this and pass in some arguments for like examples and what we call it main. So if we did something like this, we interesting. We can't use it there. So I wonder if this will let me do it. Fascinating. But now this not where was it? Script and that. Um, so I'm thinking. I don't like it, but I assume that we can probably get ignore maybe the J directory because this is .NET stuff and potentially also the bin directory. So if we did something like that, this would just have this random Devlang CS project, and we would just have to, I don't know, keep it. So I wonder if there is a way for this to I don't know, like detect whether it has got args or not defined. I don't know if that is just over the top. Like I can do what compiler net and do something like this, and it does like a lot of things. Um, but we probably just want this to be run, and then we can kind of have things in multiple places. Um, but maybe that means that we could have something like a static main and main string hearts. Can we do something like this? Just playing around with what we had. Maybe like this whole thing we can just chuck in there, and maybe at the bottom stack we just have that. And what will that tell me now? Um, right, so we don't all return values. So if we just did turn that, cool. So what if I just do this? Right, so it does need. So does it need to be? Yeah, I probably need something like a. I don't know. .NET is a little interesting. What if we did that? It doesn't know how to do that. Top man, it's painfully slow. Um, so what if we just call this Devlang, something like that? Look how slow. Cool. So that does some things. Now, if we had it like this, that now means that we cannot run it like this. Interesting. Um, oh, I should call the right thing. Um, uh, so this should be div lang dot. It's just interesting that the two different things. So we can't do odds in that case, but if we did it in this case, Right. But if we just have that, then running it with a script would just do nothing. It would give a warning. That's probably alright. I think I've decided that having that is alright. So, and I guess this spits out a bunch of things. Gosh, but if we did that, oh, so that's heaps quicker. Cool. I think I'm at a stage where I can kind of start working towards things. So, I guess what are some things that I might want to do? Um, so, birds are tweeting. I would probably want to have something like a void usage. Um, so we don't even get. Uh, I'm interested what this will have actually. Maybe uh, two, and maybe here we can just replace args with arg two, args two, args two. Um, and we can probably do this same thing here. Yeah, it's interesting that main is called correctly, but that's probably all I really care about. Um, so enough thinking about what's happening. Pretty much, if we args dot count is less than zero, this is no good. So we should probably print out some stuff. So I kind of want some error handling. So maybe uh, have something like this. And I wonder if we can have a variax at some point, but maybe I'll just do this. And uh, it would be also handy to what do I want? Uh, I think I will just do this one now. Console dot right line to do um, um, and do something like that. But also probably write out error and maybe something like I kind of want to know file name provided. Um, in fact, no arguments. Arguments provided, and then do the usage, and then maybe return one to I don't know, say that something bad happened. Cool. So what else can we do from here? So now can we do like cool switches on args? Nah, what I really want is uh, yeah, can I do something like So it's going to be a string arg and args. So all of these are we handle somehow. Uh, so we can probably get rid of that. Now, what's an argument that we're going to do? I kind of want to do something like this. For int I x equal 0 and I is less than args dot count and IDX plus plus and actually do it like this, and then we can have string arg, and this is going to be equal to args uh, x, something like that. So if we have this, then now we can kind of see what things were before and after, rather than the other array type where we did not have that information. I think I might get rid of this just for a bit more space. Um, so, what do we want to do with arg? So, I guess this is potentially even going a bit too far. What I could do is just something like this: string sub command equals args, and this is going to be 0. And so now we just have a bunch of subcommands. And can we do a switch on a string? I wonder. Um, we will see if it complains. It might be like, whoa, buddy, that you can't do. But if we can, then that will be kind of cool. Empty switch block. That's kind of good. So how do we do switches? So I guess we could do something like this, and I just want to test something like this. So I guess we don't currently do anything, but we could probably find the U and that. And I just want to see if uh, that way around. I want to see if cases fall through or whether I have to do a break explicitly. Um, Gosh, look at it go. It's thinking. Cool. Cannot fall from one case to the other, so it just tells me that's all right. And that's all right. We can probably get rid of that. So my end goal is that we read a file, I guess, and start parsing it and see what we do. So if we have a run command, we should probably check that arg count is uh, we've got at least one thing, um, and in this case we uh, can be a tad more specific about the error. Um, we can say no file provided, and give a usage for that. Otherwise, we can get string in. So this is going to be our file. Maybe we could call it the file name, and uh, one will be that one. And here we have our run of, well, in fact, we could maybe even create a new function. Static void run, and this will take in a string file name. Cool. And that we will just have a to do for now. And here we can just go run name, which will make that big switch statement. If it becomes any bigger, slightly less bigger. And my goal is to see that the code is kind of going round. So if we go to like there, and what was the syntax? It was something like that. And we can and then put something like this. Um, and that will hopefully show that we're wanting to run that file. Cool. And I realized that it's actually in examples slash main. That is the file that we really want to edit. So now I want to kind of read it out. So how on earth do we read a file? Uh, it, oh, do it uppercase. In fact, I wonder even if we like just have a function to do it for us in dot net read file. Oh, I was looking at something before, but like it seemed. Yeah, this is. I'll just slurp it all up. That is all right by me. So we might throw exceptions. So I guess this might, like, would we string file name? Maybe it's something like throws. Um, it's not highlighting it, but IO exception. How do we say that we throw things? Well, in fact, one of these things will uh, most likely throw a like you don't declare what exceptions you throw. All right. You just might throw an exception, you might not. That wasn't what I wanted. So what do we do in this? We want to just have like I kind of want to know what uh, so like if I do this, what if it is null? This using kind of looks good. So I guess it will wrap everything around. So we can using where was it? It was this one. So using the stream reader, and that is just going to be a new stream reader of the file name. uh, using all of this, I assume that we can now just go. So that's like printing it out, but I want to just do something like this. Yeah, so I guess we don't need to. Now we can just return reader dot read to end something like that. And what happens if we what we we never actually read it. So string data is read file name. So this maybe we can just call source. Yeah. And maybe we can console dot write source. I am assuming that. So, for example, we can probably just give it some non-existent file. Well, this one should complain that that's not a thing. Um, that's because we're not static. We can just become static. Um, and potentially, if I didn't have it, yeah, it's kind of weird. If I could just run it without the args, but the fact that I've got the args means I have a more consistent way of knowing how many things are that. So that just gave nothing. Right. So what do we do here? Line 8. Um, uh, less than or equal to x, and probably over the same there. I should have found one, I would have thought. Right, no args provided. And when we do this, it just does not know what to do. So is that because we don't cover default? Yeah, so on a default, we probably want to say unknown subcommand or something similar. Um, and what do we call it? Unknown subcommand, and we can probably shove it out by tucking it out there and doing that. Yeah, and so now if we run that, haven't even read the file yet. It's going to be a compiler. Tell you, you're just going to believe in it. Cool. So it doesn't know that. If we give it a file that doesn't exist, it should hopefully uh, give us a hideous long error. Could not find error. So that's because it's unhandled. So I guess what I want to do here is handle it here. Um, or potentially I do want to handle it up here where we're returning uh, I think I want to get the source here. And we can do that. Try catch. Catch on IO exception. It's real similar to Java. I'm like having Java memories. And so here we can probably file name this be store, and I probably don't want to do that. Well, in fact, I kind of want to maybe create a little structure. Um, so what is the structure that we want to have? Maybe I'll call it a source file. And what will the source file have? It will probably have a string file name, and it will have a string source. And maybe that's all it will have to start with. So if we could manage to do that, we can then go run, and we can just create a source file like this. Can please file name. So if we did this file name and what, there's too many things. I set off a little screensaver on my text prompts, and the time went up. I didn't cold sticky on my mouth. That's annoying from that drink. Um, right. What else do we have in here? We have the sauce, and we can probably give that to it. And potentially here we can maybe do something like this, um, and this can be read file file name. And is this how we might do things? And that will, did we not catch this before? I am sure I wrote this out before. Uh, and so once we catch it, we should probably say, uh, could not read the file. Um, and so maybe back here could not read file. Maybe even uh, give it a little quote mark like that. Do that and then do this and file bang. And I don't know if we need the usage for that case, but we can potentially just do that. And so at this point here, well, we can probably go source file. This how we might do things, and then here we can then go run file. Um, Apology, let's bump that back up. Um, so I wonder what this will tell me. I wonder if it will just tell me I don't know how to program. Um, yeah, so how do we do structures? Not that, struct. Structure types. So we don't have a public, doesn't matter. I Oh, do we need? We need like is there like a just like a nicer way to do this? Um, so would you do something like this? And then file name and read file of the file name. So you'll do something like this. Is this what you're telling me I need to do? And then I would need to have a public. Maybe this needs to be public. I don't think it should really matter because we're all in one file. The source file, and so this will take in the file, a name, and the string source, and I guess we would then just go uh, this dot file name equals file name. Is this what we will do? And maybe file name source, something like that. Is this what we'll do? And should we have a cheeky to string? I don't know. Public override string to string. And this uses the cool fat arrow thing. So this can probably just be like, what's this dollar at? Oh, I suppose it does like a format. So maybe we can call this a source file. And file name. Maybe even I can just pass in the we can just pass in the file name. I like it. Something like that. Now, is that what you want from me? Still like not liking things. So do we just like how do we make one? So we do need to do new. So my understanding was if we did new, it would be chucking it onto the stack somewhere. Not stack. The heap. Right. So we can't do this, and that's because it's expecting a file name. But if we give it a source file and give it that file, we can probably just do something like this, and we've already got the something like that. Um, so this should hopefully just spit out the. Still got some errors. Um, it's declared but never used. Can we just get rid of it and inaccessible? Uh, we can fix that. Um, cool, inaccessible. Maybe we just do this public string. The get and init are kind of new. How do they work? Oh, so yeah, I got you. I got you. So file name, so we can get and we can init it, um, and we can also get init the source. Um, file name. Um, so now if we did this, if we run both a valid file and an invalid file, one should give us an error and one should, right, no, it's not even going to do it. All right, that's an odd error. Um, do we need to call things by their uppercase? Probably also there as well. Um, and there. Um, and I don't know, that two string is like, maybe we don't need it. Wait, that got some more errors. Well, I got some warnings. I'm happy with warnings because it's doing what I wanted, but now I also want to kind of figure out the nullable field, non-nullable field file name must contain a non-nullable when x. Do we want it to be nullable though? But it's like a weird error because it's like, oh, I see. I see. I hadn't done it up there. Now it's working. Cool. That is doing the thing that I wanted it to do. Um, so if we just close that, um, where'd the output go? Right, so it's got a to do and for the output. And right, so it does have that. Cool. And this output cannot read file. Cool. So I think that's probably good. So what have we done? An hour into doing not too much. So what might I do? This is still like just to do like random stuff. Cool. And this, yeah, cool. Can just like do some things. So what I think I might want to do is maybe just add in some stuff, and maybe just the main dot div. So this can be our initial project, initial commit, because we need to do some stuff. And also the ignore and commit minus amend. Um, Cool. So yeah, there was just I don't know, mostly me figuring out how to do things again in C sharp, which I don't recall when I last used. So we haven't done that. What if we go to this one? So how do we like pass the file? What do we do? I think this is going to be a question for another time. This what this was working before. Um, is it because we've got like a one up there and one there? So I think I want to do something like this that like makes more sense to me to have that of to say that this is what I allow with these. Um, yeah, cool. And then we come down to here. And so here we kind of need to do a few different things. So we need to like tokenize the input. So what that's going to do is split like each word into a word type of thing, but also maybe deal with quotes and stuff. So um, basically, it will convert things into types that will be very handy in a compiler. So all the um, types identifiers, um, that's probably off the top of my head, etc. Stored somehow. We also will need to track in like special chars, like we have those, we have those, we might have semicolon, we have colon for type information, comma, what else do we have? Stuff like that. Probably want to do strings and so something like that, but also maybe also support both types of quotes interchangeable, and we can also have stuff like escapes in both. The reason being, and potentially even I could have uh, different quotes as well. So like this type of quote. We've gone into that reset. Um, so we could have that, and we could also escape the backtick. And the reason being is because one of the things I have noticed as a programmer in various different means is sometimes I want to have a string that just has um, hello with a quote, but also with a single quote. And having that just be concisely done with that notation there uh, kind of makes sense with me. So it would just have that rather than escaping stuff. So that's kind of my notion. But we will also have to bring in numbers. So I'll probably want ints and floats. I think that will be kind of the two things that it'll do. And so these are the tokens that I will kind of need to out. And then with all the tokens, I then need to kind of go and put them in a format that kind of makes sense. So um, that stage would then be the parsing stage, I guess. So that would be when you might do type checking. You can do cool analysis type stuff as well, which I might do, like dead code elimination, um, or even slash reporting. It's always good to know what parts of your code base you can just fucking RM, mind the language. You can do some other stuff at the par stage, but the output of the par stage is you kind of want to get into, in some ways, of being able to execute the code. So, a couple of things I can do here. I can either just interpret it, or I yeah, I can either interpret it, and if I interpret it, I can do that a few different ways. But there's also I want it to be able to be compiled. So when we get this, um, I'm probably going to output some bytecode. Um, not machine code, but from that bytecode, I'll probably then have to do some assembly or something that will spit out the assemble or interpret, depending on what I'm doing. So that will kind of be uh, what needs what needs doing next, I guess. And one thing I could do to kind of make that last step a bit easier is I can kind of do a thing called transpiling. So I could transpile to, for example, C or just assembly. And keeping all of this in mind, I kind of want to keep in the top of my head. I want this to be able to be portable. I want it to be able to uh, run on a Windows, run on a Linux, run on a Mac, potentially compile for those multiple platforms. Um, and the idea is I want it to be runnable on my system, whatever that might look like at the end of the day, um, and build every where. So, there's like a few different things to do. I mainly spent this, I don't know, figuring out how .NET is meant to run, and just getting it running, and getting to the point where I'm now kind of at the point where I'm happy with all the arguments that have been passed into me. I now know what my one sole job is to do, and it is to run some stuff. Potentially, this should be called a different thing, but run for now it is. But I think for now, that's probably me because I'm getting tired and my brain is not working quite as fast as I thought it might. But I've got an idea in my head and I've got some code that kind of looks alright. And we'll see where this takes me. And hopefully you'll come follow me along. But for now, thanks. See ya.